Hey Supergirl fans, we're back with another episode here at AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we're talking Both Sides of Now. It's Season 3, Episode 13. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV super fan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You say I only hear what I want to.
If you've watched the episode, you know why we chose this song.
Yes, because Martian Manhunter even pointed out, is that Lisa Loeb?
Yes, and there's so much to unpack in this episode. As you probably know already, Supergirl is going on hiatus, so this is the last episode until the larger break. And before we get into it, I want to introduce ourselves. I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stephanie Wenger.
What's up, guys? I'm Ashley Brinkman. You can find me at Ashley_Brinkman.
And I'm Lacretia Lyon, so you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet since there is only one.
Love it, guys. And so let's jump into this episode and talk about Both Sides of Now, which is a really interesting episode. There's a lot of different storylines going on. I feel like we'll start with Purity, and we'll get into Mon-El's relationship status and Sam's illness and everything else that happened in this episode. But so let's talk about Purity and this thing where Supergirl is really trying to, I feel like, find the good in Purity, and I'm not sure that there is good in Purity. What do you guys think?
I think there is good in Purity, not to be cliche, but yeah, I feel like there is something in Julia, like Alex even pointed out. She's strong. And they talk about like what we need to do is save them, save Reign, save Purity, which are Julia and Sam respectively. And I just feel like we're inching more and more into what I predicted last week of Alex and Sam getting closer.
What made you think about that tonight?
Well, Alex played it really heavy-handed with, like, being against Julia and Purity and all that. So I'm like, normally with this show, sorry to predict in their writing, but, like, when someone's that heavy-handed against somebody, that they tend to come around.
It does a 180.
Yeah.
We also heard a lot about Alex's feelings and the relationship, and there was a lot of talk about Maggie, so I feel like she has to move on to something.
I agree with you. I felt like last week they were trying to kind of shut the door on Maggie and allow Alex to have this next chapter, and I agree with you. Typically on CW shows, I don't necessarily see the chemistry 100% yet between them, but I see that she wants someone to take care of her daughter. There's like lots of circumstance that would make them a good pairing. But they do tend to, when they end one chapter with a relationship, give them a new relationship pretty much in the next episode. So this was a real, like, this is a long game for them.
Yeah, this is a CW long game. Like, there was a few episodes where Alex was single. And when it comes to women on the CW, I mean, going all the way back to Smallville, we'll play that drinking game tonight, guys. I mean, was Lotta Lang single for more than 2 episodes together? Never. But let's not put Alex down that rabbit hole. I don't want to ever compare any woman on the CW to that garbage. But
I was like, we were getting some strong feelings. But I love that they're trying to figure this out, right? That really what we got tonight was Alex and Kara starting to try to get to understanding each other's viewpoints, and they have these like sisterly arguments, and they always kind of come back together. And tonight it was all about compassion, and that Kara feels like Alex has lost her compassion, and Kara's, I guess, too compassionate. Is that a thing? Like, I don't know.
it can be.
Yeah, I feel like that's like her. Kara and Supergirl both have some sort of compassion, and together it's just like too much compassion at times.
Too much compassion. So what did you think about her going after Purity? Like coming to Purity and finding her?
At the house?
Yeah.
I thought it was a good intro. It was fun. It was kind of exciting. And I like that she was, trying to talk to Julia And then Alex had to go and mess that up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, and you see Julia even struggling a little bit in the episode with who she is. It was a big episode about identity and who you are and who you kind of want to become. I felt like that was the overarching theme of this episode.
Yeah, because, too, we touched on it with a lot of the characters. I mean, this whole season, that's been Kara's arc of being human and stuff like that, and we talked about that before the show a little bit, but I feel like this episode touched on Alex, even Saturn Girl, like Mon-El, and then, of course, Julia, who was more of the central character of this, and even Sam to an extent, or Rain, like wherever you want to place her at the moment. But yeah, it's about who you are and who you fit in, even if sometimes you don't even know what's going on, like with Julia and Sam.
Okay. Yeah, I think that it's interesting to see kind of Alex's role in it all, right? So she is becoming more and more central to this. I feel like in the first few seasons we had kind of Supergirl always fighting by herself, and now you see Alex really becoming her like right hand in so many ways, emotionally and even in these fights. Like, she's willing to put herself in a lot of danger, and we see it time and time again.
She's our Dickel, and I like that.
Which I don't even know that reference.
Yeah, it's the Arrow. Like, so
like, sorry, Super
Arrowverse. Well, the OG, the Arrowverse original, the Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, John Diggle, who, of course, none of the characters on that show really have superpowers up until recently. You have the Black Canary, which they sort of copied with Julia's powers, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, like, John was always at Oliver's side, being in there, even though he was a military man, but not necessarily as trained as Oliver in this, and not really into the vigilantism, which is what Alex is. Like, and they're sort of brothers in a way.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So what do we think about Mon-El's big reveal tonight? I know I was super excited about it because I've been predicting this for quite some time, that there's going to be a route back to Mon-El and Kara being a couple, and we saw the beginnings of that tonight with him revealing to Jean that he still has some feelings there, that, you know, this marriage was forced upon him, and that, like, he still has thoughts about Kara.
Yeah, we saw a lot of this, like, little scenes of Mon-El and Kara or Supergirl talking, and there was always this, like, flirty thing. So you're right in that. But their talk was really cute. Mon-El and Jean was very
it's very like
father son.
Yeah, father figure. We got it.
Yeah, I know that people, especially people who watch this show in a way, are all down with the patriarchy, but that's kind of what I love about this show is Jean, Martian Manhunter, you know, is like the dad of the show, and that's the heart of the show, and I really like that. But also I would like to say to the internet, suck it. Those were my exact words when they had that conversation. I know you people who tweet me all the time do not want Caramel back together, but that's why I have two words. Suck it.
That was some big talk
I know.
From this half of the table.
Yeah.
So,
those were my words.
So, but Mon-El, this seems like a long time coming, right? I feel like as much as people have wanted to deny it on social media, that there's certainly been these moments between them, and they're fleeting. They're typically in the last 10 minutes of the episode, and you get these moments. And tonight you finally started to peel back a little bit more. So his wife comes from a prominent family. They got married, but he's still, like, coming back to, you know, the DEO, and everything has brought back a lot of those thoughts that he has for Kara. And I think that after this hiatus, this is getting a little bit into predictions, we're gonna get to see how he essentially wins Kara back. I would imagine that will be a big part of these final episodes of the season.
Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering what her reveal is. I mean, I have an idea, but I wonder if that's going to be kind of the catalyst to their breakup. And
what do you think?
Oh, I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Maybe
well,
just from like comics and stuff.
yeah. Why don't we ask our audience? Tweet at us. And of course, we are on the live chat. So you can let us know here right now if you're watching us live, or always tweet us. We read all the YouTube comments as well. And we'll still be on all of social media during this hiatus. So let's talk about where this leaves Mon-El in terms of, he seems to also be finding himself, to go back to that central theme, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, is Mon-El has finally become the man that Kara deserves. I hate to use the D word, but, like, that's sort of what people had an issue with, and that's why I'm going back to his conversation with John. He's like, well, I was a selfish, misogynistic jerk, like, yeah, that's what people said, and now he's not, so, like, what's your problem now? Like, I mean, other than the fact that he's married, but we've come to find out that this was a forced marriage, which Mon-El was sort of used to, because that was part of his culture, and he's like, I've come to love her, but even when he's talking to his wife and John, that's not the case.
I have to say that I felt, as much as I love Mon-El and Kara together, I felt really bad for his wife in that moment. Like, having someone that she obviously has genuine feelings for tell you that he may, like, still love his ex, like, that's a hard moment, and I felt really, really bad for her.
I felt the same way.
Yeah, like, that's not something I mean, again, this is taking it out of the Supergirl universe and into real life. That's such a painful...
It is painful, but at the same time, I mean, not to diss Imra or Saturn Girl or anything in any way, but it's hard for us to feel for her when we don't really know her. And I think that's what makes it easier, at least for me, to be like, okay, we kind of always saw this coming and we saw this being an issue, and, like, we just don't really know who she is, so it's hard for us to, like, care that much. I mean, and I don't mean to sound callous, but I mean, if this was a character we had around and that we had feeling for, it'd be, like, super devastating. Sort of like, well, I go back to Arrow comparisons with Oliver and Felicity and Laurel, like, you at least sort of cared about the history there and why it was devastating that, I mean, he clearly liked a woman who had a little bit more personality. Not to throw shade, but, like, that's sort of the thing is, okay, like, we at least cared about these characters and had this for a while, but, like, with Irma and Saturn Girl, we don't really know her, so it's hard to really empathize with her that much.
Well, that's something that I really wanted from this, was I hoped that they would develop Saturn Girl into a more complete character, right? At this point, you saw that one episode where she went with all the girls.
Which was great.
Which was so fun, and I loved that. But then she's kind of just been Mon-El's wife. Like, I feel like I want more of her, but I want her own arcs and her own story. I like her, but I just need more from her.
Well, and sadly, that's sort of what they do with some female characters. Oh, my wrist. But yeah, like, they're very pretty, and you want to really like them because, like, they'll have these moments where you're like, oh yeah, they're trying to make them a strong woman, and then we won't get these, like, arcs without a dude in them, and so you're kind of like, I don't know how I can root for this character because she's never allowed to really stand on her own, except for when you mention, like, that particular Fort Ross episode. And I love that the chat is like, Caramel's like, Olicity, some people don't like it, but it's inevitable in-game. And it's like, who doesn't like them? Are you the people that are basic bitches that don't like Felicity? I'm sorry.
I think we should stick to Supergirl.
Yeah, I know.
I would be devastated if they didn't give her more of, like, an arc after the break.
Yeah.
Like, even if they did break up, I think she's really intelligent. Every time they give her something, she's super strong, very intelligent. And she's a great character. I'd love to see more from her.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that we're just getting to the surface of her, and I would be really sad if they kind of do the thing where she gets off the show because her part of this, like, you know, love triangle is done, and they want the, you know, Mon-El and Kara to be back together. I really want her to have her full story.
Yeah, it's more interesting if we get to know her. I'm not saying this is any slight. It's more to do with the writing, and it's like, okay, like, let's get to know Irma, Saturn Girl, so that we care if she goes away in whatever capacity.
Yeah.
Well, from what I've gotten so far, I do like her. She's a strong, smart, kind of an independent woman. on the show. So I'd be excited to see more from her. I'd be kind of sad if she was.
Yeah, I don't want to see her go. I do want Kara and Mon-El back together, but I want kind of more of her story. And maybe even a new love interest for her. I would be okay with that. I don't know. Little...
Yeah, Kara's Mon-El 11. Like that name. The reason I do not feel bad for Irma is because she's lying to Mon-El, said she and Brainy developed a plan behind Mon-El's back, and she knew it was a risk going back that Mon-El could fall back with Kara.
Fair
It's like,
point.
yep.
That's a fair point. I can't take that away, but I always feel bad in breakup scenes for fictional characters, which it is. Maybe that's my issue. I don't know, but
There's
It
genuine
depends on the
feeling
character.
there.
yeah.
She definitely had some genuine feelings.
Totally.
She saw the stare. Got to her.
Yeah.
Yes, and thank you, Davey Elmer. Stay awesomely salty, Lacretia. Yeah, I know. I've been in a real bitch mood today, but...
I feel like it's been clear tonight.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Sam and this illness that I still think she knows something is going on within her. She's calling it an illness, and I know she's like, I don't know what's wrong, like no one can diagnose me, and maybe that's genuine, but I'm starting to feel like she has to know there's like a Rain half of her. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only person who feels this way.
I don't feel that way. I feel like
No.
she's too invested and loves her daughter too much to, because when they are themselves and then when they are like Rain or whatever, they're completely different people.
I get it, but I just feel like you have to, or maybe I want her to just start having flashbacks to it. Like
I
feel
think
like,
that's what'll happen, yeah.
like there has to be. She's like, there's this illness that no one can diagnose. Well, okay, but how do we get past that and move on with the story? At this point, I want to push the story forward, and I think the only way to do that is to have her have some realization.
Well, I think they're pushing it along with Lena, because Lena at the end was like, I know what's wrong with you. And whether she does or not, she's on to something.
Well, and if we stick with, like, Lena and her knowledge of, like, her brother's breakdown and stuff like that, they may go to, like, a psychiatrist, hypnotist, and stuff like, which is, well, I could say, using soap and real-life rules, that's what you do when you're having blackouts, and you kind of think, like, I compared this to DID last week, and dissociative identity disorder, I forget to, like, explain the anagram, but, yeah, like, having that, and then, that's what people do, is because you really do black out, and you have no idea that there's this other personality. And I feel like they're going that direction with this, that they don't know, but if they were to be hypnotized or go under therapy of somehow, they're going to start having these flashbacks and start to figure it out that they are two different people.
I mean, it's an incredible way to get to that story, right? Like, that makes sense, and it's what we've seen. You're right. It's a storytelling technique that you often see on soaps. But I think it's going to be interesting to see. I was surprised at her level of anger when Lena revealed that she had told her daughter about this illness. I was surprised that Sam was that upset, because
I didn't know when Sam ended and when Rain started in that moment.
Yeah, that was it. I think they focused in on the eyes in a moment, and I think that at that point that was like the clear transition for the audience, but I wasn't sure in terms of like the personality when it switched.
Yeah, because it almost felt like it switched before then, because she freaked out and didn't seem to be so angry. Like, but I feel like she was angry that moment and it immediately switched when she got angry.
That's
sort
what
of
I
like
thought,
Killer
too.
Frost, like how they know how to pull her out on the Flash is like, talk about her childhood bully, like just say that and it'll piss her off and she'll be this other personality.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I really, and also Sam's daughter, I have to say, from the first episode she was in on Supergirl, she's such a great actress. She's playing this so well, I feel like. It's an interesting role to have your mom be this, like, split personality. I don't even know how to describe it. But what do you think is next for Sam? Any thoughts?
I still hope that her and Alex get closer, even though it's a little soon.
I love that you're like, I have one goal, one thought, that is all I want.
Well, because I see the chemistry and I'm like, oh, this will be a really good story point too. Like, there's a lot of reasons they have the chemistry. There's a good story point, and plus, it's like Alex is gonna get Ruby, but it's like, wouldn't that be weird if she's just like a friend who she just met? Like, but if they get closer and things transpire, it would make sense. And I don't really want Odette and Annabelle to leave the show. I'd actually love for her husband to come on because he's also part of the Berlanti.
Dave Annabelle's so great.
Yeah, he's so sweet.
I wonder what Lena would do with the information if she found out she was Rain, or if she already knows.
Well, I think that could be actually a really interesting point of having either Lena or Alex find out before Sam does. I think we've talked about it in a previous episode as well. And them figuring out what it is before Sam does. That would be a very interesting arc to me.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is I feel like my idea makes more sense and to go with an interesting idea. I mean, not just because it's mine, because Billie Jean Girl 24 agrees with me that she saw chemistry. Thank you for that one person.
But you also really, by the end of the episode, see Alex and Kara kind of coming to this common ground, and Alex still reiterating, to go to your point, that she really wants to be a mother.
Yeah. They are heavy-handed that.
Yeah, I think we've had that every episode all season long. I feel like from the breakup to now, like, it's been clear every episode. But I thought it was really sweet that Kara says, like, you'll be a mother and you'll have everything. And, like, what more can you want from your sister? Really, like, I just thought that was a very sweet moment in the episode.
There's definitely a lot of tender moments in this episode.
Yeah.
And, like, revealing character moments. I don't know. Yeah. You're like, maybe not.
Yeah, well, actually, I really love the relationship between Kara and Alex. Like, their sister relationship is kind of the central theme of the show. Like, and it's nice that they're always there for each other. And, two, that was the central theme of the episode. Sort of Alex, like, being kind of bitchy, like, you know, I am today, apparently. But, like, coming around at the end to Kara's point of view of trying to save Julia instead. And then also talking it out, like, you know, with her sister, and that was kind of nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. They always have these very sisterly arguments, and then they, like, come back around, and that's the way that siblings are. It's certainly the way that I am with my brother. Like, you have these things, but it doesn't change at the end of the day. Like, you're still siblings and you're still family. Like,
oh, yeah, my brother's my best friend no matter what. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I think that it's so nice to have that kind of relationship portrayed on television, because it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes it's over the top, dramatic, crazy, and to have this sibling relationship where in this crazy world it still comes back to what we all know.
Yeah.
Let's jump into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I feel like we've been doing them all episode, but I am really excited. I know that we have this break because Legends of Tomorrow is going to fill the Supergirl time slot for the next couple weeks, and then Supergirl's back for their final, I believe, 9 episodes. I will double check that, but I think it's 9. And I'm really excited to see kind of, I feel like this episode we took a turn and we're going to get these world killers, and I think that that's going to be a central theme to this back half of the season, and fighting them, who's good, who's evil, what's happening with everything. What do you think, Lacretia?
Yeah, as I've said all episode, I want Alex and Sam to at least develop somewhat of a relationship so that we see, like, you know, Alex sort of having a 180 from her feelings, even though she sort of did in this episode going with Kara, but I feel like it's very CW to have that, and we get her ready-made family in all of that. But at the same time, I do feel like Lena may be the first person to find out that she's Rain, since she seemed to be like, I know what's going on, but I feel like it's sort of a just like a false, you know, or red herring that I think she's going to suspect more of like a mental breakdown, like we saw with her brother in Smallville, and I don't know which canon. But there is a level of Lex obviously went insane, and that's what she's thinking.
Yeah, what about the people's relationship statuses? So we've talked about Mon-El. I think Mon-El is going to go back to Kara. I don't know if it'll be in the first episode back, but certainly quickly thereafter at CW pace here, as we talked about earlier in the episode. So Sam and Alex, a possibility. I want to know your thoughts on it. We know Lacretia's thoughts. Give us give us yours, of course. Tweet at us. And what about Purity? I know we talked about it at the top of the episode, good, evil, what's happening?
I feel like she's going to turn. Like, I sort of had some inside knowledge that possibly this character would turn out to help Kara, but, like, I feel like that was genuine.
I think she's going to turn as well. But by the end of all the world killer madness, I think she will be okay, like, going back to being Julia.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that this episode, you saw that there's something else there, that she's not purely one thing. Sorry, purely. But I'm interested to see where this character goes, and also with the addition of all the world killers together, and hopefully we get some more of this like great fight scenes, which we had a few of tonight.
Yeah, and apparently we didn't talk enough about that because we're women, according to some people in the chat. But like some of us enjoy blood and gore, but this fight scene, it happened, but it didn't really bring any storyline development or anything like that.
I mean,
so I'm sorry about that, dude.
I think that
Sorry, salty Lacretia's here.
Purity's her scream, sonic.
Yeah, I mean, that was...
Yeah.
It's great. It was done really well. I thought she did a fantastic job as an actress. It all looked visually pleasing, and I was really pleased by it.
I think that this show, what's funny is that, so we've obviously all been watching it for a long time now, and we've come to, like, expect this incredible special effects, and so it doesn't always, like, we're not always calling it out, but, I mean, they do an exceptional job on the show, and it should be said always. I mean, when you were breaking glass like that, and then you had this epic fight scene, I mean, there are great moments of those throughout this series, but tonight they did great. I just felt like it didn't do anything where I was like, I must mention it, so sorry, chat.
It didn't progress the storyline.
It was just it was a non-progressive viewer there, so I felt the need to call it out. But yeah, and you guys brought it up. But yeah, like we say, the sonic boom, like, not to throw shade, but my favorite female character of the entire DC Comics universe in the comics. Now, I love Dinah Drake, but, like, the canary cry was basically what Julia was doing, and it was a little like, can we explain why she has that? And I'd be fine, but it was like, that's for another show.
So, in, like, doing some research on the episode, there's definitely some, like, great shout-outs if you're a big comic book fan, like, that you would recognize in this episode. So, definitely... that's really fun as well. But with that, I think we can wrap up this episode. It's been so much fun talking about Supergirl, and we'll be back again. I believe it's in April, so we'll keep you posted on all the socials. You can find it at AFTERBUZZ TV, and you can find me at Stephanie Wenger.
You can find me at Ashley_Brinkman. Bye, guys.
And I'm Lacretia Lyon, so you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one. And my podcast comes out tomorrow, guys, so subscribe to Mrs. Brightside. You'll see some familiar faces, or not see, but hear, since it's audio only on iTunes. So subscribe to Mrs. Brightside, guys.
Yeah, and see you all soon for more Supergirl. Bye!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.